For 3 decades, the Child Allocation Bureau has combated catastrophic overpopulation.
This sibling will be processed under authority of the Child Allocation Act.
To build a sustainable future full of hope and possibility.
How do you plan on hiding this?
Starting tomorrow, you will each get to go outside on the day of the week that is your name. Sunday will get to go outside on Sunday, Monday on Monday, Tuesday on Tuesday, and so on. You will all take on the singular identity of Karen Sedman.
Karen, do you have any siblings?
No.
7 siblings surviving to adulthood. It would destroy my credibility.
Miss Setman, step into the van, please.
Monday's not showing up in the grid.
Gotta go out there.
Where am I going?
Run. The trash will soften the impact.
In the last 50 years, we've doubled our population. Every 4 days, there's 1 million more people on the planet. It is the biggest crisis in human history.
Dr. Nicolette Kanan has prompted the Federation to institute a one-child per family policy.
And making a better future for our children.
How do you plan on hiding this?
I'll manage.
Have you thought about names?
There are 7. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Starting tomorrow, you will each get to go outside on the day of the week that is your name. Sunday will get to go outside on Sunday, Monday on Monday, and so on. But outside of these walls, you will all take on the singular identity of Karen Sedman.
What's your name?
Karen Sedman.
Karen, do you have any siblings?
No.
And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you can never tell a soul that you're a sibling.
Where the hell is she? What if Monday's hurt or dead? And the authorities find her before we do?
We gotta help her. We gotta go out there.
All right, now so you can see right here. So, okay, let's go and read the top comments, and then we're gonna start our little discussion. Let's read the top comments for this video. Although the comments that I see might be totally different from yours. All right, so let's read that one. 1 child per family reminds me of that rule in China, but that just caused a severely bigger population in males because of culture and the desire to pass down last names to a generation. All right, scroll up now. So what should I say? The antagonist in the movie, right? That's the woman with the blonde hair. She said that they have to control the population in order to attain a sustainable future. To what extent do you agree with this statement? Kendra, go ahead, followed by Jashim.
Sorry, good morning, Miss. It sounds like what should happen because we're dealing with a lot of overpopulation. It sounds like it makes sense, but at the same time, if you look at like anything related to human nature, you know that it's not something that can be enforced, or it's not. It probably could be enforced, but it couldn't. But a lot of people wouldn't agree with it, and it would be hard to enforce for those people.
All right, so let me probe you a little more. But Jashim, I'm gonna take your response. Now, what does she mean by a sustainable future? What does she mean by that?
Me, Miss?
What does she mean by a sustainable future?
She means I think she's talking about the resources, because we have we don't have enough resources so that the entire population can survive and thrive. So if the overpopulation problem continues, then eventually we're not going to have enough resources for everybody to use currently, and it's going to cause a problem because the Earth's resources are going to run out and we're going to be in trouble.
Okay, very good, very good. So we have established one thing so far, and you have elaborated on that there is a link between the size of a country's population or the size of the world's population and the resources. But I'm gonna let Joshim introduce a point, and then I'm gonna flip a concept on you, right? On the class, that is. So Joshim, go ahead.
Good morning, Miss. It's basically the same thing that Kendra said. I strongly agree with her because I think that the population needs to be controlled in order for the protection of the natural world, as well as the quality of life each individual can afford. But however, you can't just control the population in the easiest or what seems to be the easiest way. You need to do it in an ethical way, and there's where the problem arises.
Excellent. And that was another point I was gonna probe. She mentioned that the population is hard to control, and that's another big concept we're going to look at for sociology. We're going to be looking at population control policies and to say how successful are these population control policies, which approach is most effective. Should the approach from the government be more effective, or should it be more should we be targeting individuals, women, those who can get pregnant, and to influence their behavior or their lifestyle choices? So, and then you mentioned something about the ethics that's linked to population control policy, and we are seeing this all over the world, where some individuals believe in pro-choice, others believe in pro-life. Some persons believe that the government doesn't have the right to tell them what to do with their bodies, while other persons believe that as a nation, everybody should recognize fetuses as individuals or members of the population. So you just addressed another concern, and as a good sociologist, very good, that there are ethical issues that are linked to policies, or even ethical concerns that a sociologist must contemplate whenever he or she is trying to interpret data, or trying to even gather data. Now I'm gonna flip it on you guys one way. So when you talk about controlling the population, let me read your comment. When you talk about control, there are many factors to look at, such as their approach. How will you communicate this information? The way how someone tries to enforce something such as this should be a long conversation. Okay, very good. Very good. Yes, very good. And we're going to be looking at that, and that could be something. This point can be used to evaluate Jamaica's population control policies. Is this the approach? And this is something that you guys need to know about. Well, what I know, and just to segue a little bit, is that yes, I know that in the clinics, it's a conversation that is had with women on an individual level. Sometimes they have a group lecture, but when you, for example, have a baby, so for example, when you have a baby, when you go in to the nurse after 6 weeks, she'll ask you, what contraceptives are you thinking about, and she'll She'll give you the different options that are available, and she'll give you a one-on-one talk. She'll have a long conversation with you. She'll ask you, do you want any more children? So that conversation is hard, but because you're not at that age, or you've not really been exposed in such a way, you find that you wouldn't know about some of these things. And that is something we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that, but I don't want to come off this particular tangent that we're currently on. So I'm going to ask my video disc jockey, Naisha, to type in how much food is wasted. How much food is wasted. Just type that in. I'll show you the video. I'll tell you which video to choose. Hold on, Shakira. Sorry, I was talking and didn't realize I had muted myself. Okay, let's click on that. Why do we waste $1 trillion of food a year? Let's click on that.
It grows in nature. Bugs crawl on it, fish poop all the time, cows lick things that you wouldn't even want to touch, and fruits and vegetables literally grow in dirt. Dirt, you guys. Ugh. Hey there, flavonoids. Trace regurgitating some food science for you on D News Today. We all know food comes from the earth. So why do we expect it to look perfect? Ugly food, or food that doesn't look right, doesn't get sold, and it makes up a ton of our food supply. According to the USDA, 133 billion pounds and $161 billion worth of food was wasted in 2010 by retailers and consumers. That's about 30% of all food production. Ugly food is part of that waste. Reducing food waste could help us feed more of our population without increasing food production, and ugly food is a first step on that path. Waste could help us feed more of our population without increasing food production, and ugly food is a first step on that path. But it has a big climb to be accepted because humans have a cognitive bias. We don't roll with the uggos. Humans assume attractive people are smarter and have fewer diseases. So it would make sense that we would also assume attractive food is better. There's a principle restaurateurs and chefs use called plating or presentation. Chefs place the food on our plates, they make it look good, and it works. A study in the journal Appetite and another in the journal Flavor looked at the importance of the aesthetics of food, and they found not only does good-looking food positively affect the flavor, but the actual plate it's on also affects how people feel about it. Unfortunately, our cognitive bias for attraction likely goes far deeper than plating or the plates themselves. Even potatoes have to look good. Since its founding in 1862, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has been a source of regulation, standardization, and knowledge for how we grow and consume food. Today, it fights to comprehend and regulate the U.S. food system, but some of its original regulations, they just don't make sense anymore. The USDA ranks food by freshness, appearance, color, and size, among a bunch of other things. Grade A milk, for example, can be used
all right,
for...
Naisha, you can pause it here. So, no, this is where I'm flipping the question. Anybody can see where I'm going with this? Can anybody, it's a question is begging based on our previous discussion, based on, our previous mindset, that was expressed, where the discussion now. Yes, Shakira, go ahead. Go ahead, Shakira.
Miss, we are going towards a topic where we're saying population control affects all areas of our life. So even the food, as this would have said that how many millions or billions of food was wasted, it affects the population as well, because if the population grows and the food declines, how will we be fed and stuff like that? Miss, that's where my mindset is at right now.
You sound like a Malthusian, and by next week you'll know why I tell you sound like a Malthusian. Not quite what I was looking for, Shakira, Not quite, but I understand that you grasp that I am looking at food and resources and population. Anybody else? I don't want to, based on the previous discussion that we were having. Kyle, yes, Kyle, go
Good
ahead.
morning, Miss. I think it's kind of a little opposite from Shakiro. Thinking
Go
that
ahead.
this video compared to before shows that uh, that the population control maybe isn't as needed as it seems, but rather other things such as food, the usage of food here could be more focused on. As in the trailer, it talked about sustainability of life. It showed that maybe population control, although needed, isn't necessarily the most important thing, as you see that so much food is being wasted, and that could help the situation, meaning that the population does not need to decrease as we still have enough food, just that too much wasted, and how the food is shared is the problem.
Excellent interpretation, Kyle. That's exactly where I was going. So now we have been introduced to a new, or should I say, new interpretation about population and resources. This new interpretation says that it's not a matter of population growing out of control. It's really a matter of how resources are used and distributed. So, it's kind of there are two sides of the arguments based on the fact that they're saying enough food is produced in the world to sustain the population that we have, the world's population. Enough food is produced, enough resources, we have enough resources. However, how we use our resources, what you call it, and also to the inequality that exists, for example, between advanced nations and developing nations. So that how much billion, $100 billion worth of food that was wasted could have been exported to a country. Could you name a country that this food could have been exported to that would have made the people more food secure? Anybody could tell me a country that it could have been exported to that could have made the people or the population in this country more food secure?
Haiti.
Excellent. So we have persons who are experiencing chronic hunger in different countries, Yemen, Haiti, lots of these countries. And you have one country that's wasting $1 trillion worth of food that possibly could feed all of these countries. So, it's kind of saying that, yes, Kyle just said, is population control really as necessary as it should be? Or is it a matter of how we manage our food production, how we distribute our food production, and how we perceive food? There's also another thing. They have another set of people who do dumpster diving. Hold on, escape this for me. Let me show you something. Escape this video. Okay, I don't even have to go far. Go to Food Waste Rebel wants you to eat ugly food. Go on that one.
Which okay.
When I was a teenager, most of the food that I was giving my pigs was actually perfectly fit for human consumption. It was coming from supermarket dumpsters. Bins full of food being locked and sent off to landfill sites. And I thought, well, I'm just scratching the surface here. At least a third of the world's food supply is currently being wasted. And you add it all up, it amounts to an enormous environmental catastrophe and a major contributor to the scarcity of food in some parts of the world. The ridiculously strict cosmetic standards laid down by supermarkets in Europe and America mean that farmers in Kenya waste thousands of tons of perfectly good food every single year, right where there are millions of people hungry. This is the food waste from one day of packing in one plant in Kenya. Multiply that by many times and you start to see the scale and the gratuitousness of the global food waste scandal.
At root, what we need to change is society. We need to make everyone believe that food is far too valuable to waste. I'm the founder of the charity Feedback.
What we do as an organisation is try and inspire people to take action in their own lives.
That's our number one objective. Spread the global food waste revolution.
We find that the best way of doing that is to hold a massive free feast with food that otherwise would be wasted, so that people are having fun whilst building solutions and collaborating with each other to use food rather than throwing it away.
Supermarkets who used to reject stuff because it didn't look perfect have changed their ways. Food redistribution has doubled in the United Kingdom since we launched our campaigns. We will and we can change the whole way in which the food system is being run, and it's our responsibility to do that.
All right, Naisha, you can pause it now. All right, so I'm gonna go back to Shakira. Is your hand? You want to say something? Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna go back to Keandra and Jashim. Just asking you guys, have you reevaluated your perspective based on this information that you have been provided with?
Yes, I'm thinking about it.
You're thinking about it, good.
But I'm not as quick to say it's the best solution anymore. But I think as much, if I'm being honest, I think even if we fix the food wastage problem, which it would kind of just be pushing back the problem, pushing back the issue, delaying the issue, because if we fix our food wastage problem, then we'll have enough resources for now, but then in, I don't know, 50 years, when the population doubles, then we would have the same problem.
Okay, so you're saying that you recognize that food is being wasted, but conserving food is not adequate to address the population growth crisis. And I accept that point. Very good. I accept it. You guys are thinking very sharp, and you're thinking like a true Malthus. Kendra, I'll ensure that you go into the Malthusian group. You're on Jashim. I'm gonna ensure I assign you guys to that group. So Jashim, have you reevaluated your perspective in this new information?
Miss, to some extent, I do believe that food is being wasted. However, I think that the problem is not on. I think that controlling the population is still important, because even if we can stop wasting food to the extent that we do, we still have problems like housing and deforestation that are going to prevent a sustainable future.
Excellent. So pretty much what you're saying is that the food crisis, the food as a resource is not the only one we should be concerned about as it relates to population growth. Persons should be concerned with, so even if the population has enough food to eat, they might not have enough places to live, right? And in order to create homes for them to live, we have to cut down more trees, which again is going to probably create the problem, deepen the problem with the food crisis. So you guys are thinking very analytically, very critically, Very good. So everybody pretty much is right. Kyle is right because Kyle has the evidence to support his point. All of you are thinking very critically. It all depends on how you feel about population, the impact of population growth on the resources. But now let us introduce the other major concept. So population